Covenant network is absolute chaos. From what I've been able to piece together, their leadership ordered all ships to abandon Halo when they found the Flood, but they were too late. The Flood overwhelmed this cruiser and disabled it. The Covenant are terrified the Flood will repair the ship and use it to escape from Halo. They've sent in a strike team to neutralize the Flood and repair the ship for immediate departure. I've got a good lock on Captain Key's CNI transponder signal. He's alive, and the implants are intact. There's some interference from the cruiser's damaged reactor. I'll bring us in as close as I can. Oh, I see. The coordinate data needs to be... Right. Sorry. Captain? Captain? I've lost him.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Halo 1 Anniversary. So we're back on the Truth and Reconciliation here, and it's a bit banged up. I must say that the Flood are terrible housekeepers. They're just not very good at keeping things nice and pristine and clean. Well, as Cortana mentioned, the Covenant are afraid that the Flood will repair this vessel and use it to get off the ring, and that actually hints at the fact that the Flood are not just a bunch of brainless zombies. There is a method to the madness of the infection.
Analyzing damage. This hole was caused by some kind of explosive. Very powerful if it tore through the ship's hull. All I detect down there are pools of coolant. We should continue our search somewhere else.
Yeah, and as I previously mentioned, as the infection spreads, it gains in intelligence. Now, we don't see this intelligence utilized much in this game, but we will start seeing it in the next game.
Warning, threat level increasing.
Yep, and the Flood just infinitely spawn right here, so you have no choice. You have to jump down into the pool of coolant.
Jump into the coolant is looking better all the time, Chief.
Okay, I suppose we'll do it. Fine. Apparently the Covenant use antifreeze just like we do.
Let's get out of here and find another way back aboard the ship.
And I will say, the look of the coolant, the antifreeze on this dripping from the cruiser here is probably the best part I have to say about this. It actually looks like a liquid, as opposed to in the original Halo Combat Evolved, it's kind of like this weird kind of green hazy stuff. But I will say, much like the levels 343 Guilty Spark and the library, this mission, particularly this part, is way too bright. In the original Halo, as you know, just go back and watch my LP of that, it's dark and you cannot see very much. And unless you know where you're going, you kind of have to use your flashlight to navigate. This, you can just clearly see all the nice little paths. How convenient, huh? But then again, I suppose, you know, in the game's lore, the Spartans have had a number of upgrades to their bodies, which include basically upgrades to their vision, their ocular nerves, and their eyes and stuff like that. So they can pretty much see in the dark, practically. I missed meleeing that dude. Now you get hot lead to the face. Oh, I wish I had a shotgun. But I got a pistol. I guess, as previously mentioned, the secondary purpose of the Halo rings is to serve as a biological refuge. I have not talked about the terrain on the Halo itself. Oh, there's a shotgun. I'll get that. Anyway, while the terrain of the Halo ring may appear to be naturally formed, in reality, it's actually artificially constructed. The way it works is that raw materials are extracted from a nearby source, usually like a moon or a planet or something like that, and then 4 huge terraforming factories move across the face of the installation to basically 3D print the land masses and the bodies of water on the surface of the ring. These factories also hold in the ring's nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, which is then leaked out onto the surface, eventually pouring through the superstructure. And it's held in place by centripetal force.
We should head this way, towards the ship's gravity lift.
Okie dokie. So yeah, that's why the surface of the ring has air that is breathable. That's why it has land. And basically,
The crash did more damage than I suspected. Analyze it. Coolant leakage rate is significant. The ship's reactor should already have gone critical.
yeah, but it hasn't. Anyway, several meters below the terrain surface is a layer of metallic panels upon which the rock, soil, and eventually the vegetation is added. The slopes, hills, and mountains are actually created by sculpting these panels into a basic feature. And some of the features, like landslides and others, are the result of time, or they have been formed naturally, but others, like the different climates, the biomes, are artificially created. There are also numerous indigenous life forms that live on the halos, and these were brought onto the installations as part of the Lifeworkers Conservation Project. In the original version of Halo that was being developed, you were going to encounter large masses of herds of wildlife, but those were removed from the game before the final version was released. The structures seen on the surface, the installations, are actually built as part of the underlying structure, and then the terrain is printed on top of them. This actually creates the appearance of the structures being physically built into the surrounding landscape, when in fact the inverse is true. Hence, the land on the surface is, in reality, only a couple meters deep. You can dig down and you'll find the metallic panel. There are some places in the game, such as on the level The Silent Cartographer, where you can see that the landmass has fallen away, and you can notice that there's a metallic panel beneath it that it's printed on top of. So hence, that's basically why the surface of Halo has actual land on it, but in reality it's not a natural landmass. It's 3D printed, essentially. I don't know why there's those spooky strings right there. It's not like we haven't been already fighting the flood for the past, 10 minutes or whatever. Okay, well, moving on.
Power source detected. There's the gravity lift. It's still not collision. That's our way back in.
Yeah, again, this music here, it's kind of weird. Parts of it are indeed a change from the original. Now, from my understanding, the cruiser has moved, so it's not in the same place it was in the mission where we previously were aboard it. That's why the gravity lift is kind of on top of this weird ridge here, if you will. And they fixed the cutscene here, so you're not spurting blood when those infection forms hit you as you come up the gravity lift.
We should be able to get into the ship's control room from here.
Yes. I mean, the gravity lift seems to be a central hub, so we just work our way back. We'll be able to find our way there.
The Covenant BattleNet is a mess. I can't access the ship's schematics. My records indicate that a shuttle bay should be here.
We're still in the passageways, Cortana, so we should be coming up to a shuttle bay pretty soon. Yes. Well, I mean, this is a hangar, not a shuttle bay.
Look, in the corners. The Flood are gathering bodies.
Yes, indeed they are. And here's where I'm going to start talking about the overall intelligence of the Flood. And we'll see more of this in a couple of minutes. So, as previously mentioned, as the Flood spread, they gather the memories and intelligence of whatever hosts they infect. When enough bodies are gathered, a genuine Gestalt intelligence begins to form and they exponentially grow. In order to move the Flood beyond the current feral stage to the next coordinated stage, a proto-Gravemind is required. A Gravemind is a mass intelligence of the Flood. Now, a proto-Gravemind is a collection of neurotissue composed of vital intellectual nodes in a single location. Flood forms and corpses are merged into a large globular mass which combines the knowledge of each absorbed host. In order to create the strongest intelligence as rapidly as possible, the most intelligent hosts will be selected from this process. As we're about to see, Captain Keyes, since he's been captured, is a high-ranking officer, and he's also a brilliant tactician with advanced knowledge of human culture and warfare, so his capture is vital to the Flood's effort, and he is an ideal candidate for a Proto-Gravemind Flood form. Now, the Proto-Gravemind actually has no combat capability, and the actual size and shape of a Proto-Gravemind can vary, but they are all a mass of bodies and minds, sometimes even machines, which are formed together into a large entity. If allowed to continually grow, it will result in a true Gravemind. The growing intelligence of a Gravemind allows the Flood to communicate and coordinate itself over vast distances, and there could be multiple Graveminds in the Flood as they spread. Now, the entire process, which we will see, at least a glimpse of, is cruelly insidious. It leaves the victim conscious and trapped inside this form, effectively becoming a case of, I have no mouth and I must scream. Rather than destroying the victim's consciousness, as the normal Flood forms do, it instead interrogates its victims slowly, even speaking telepathically to them, and allowing their nervous systems to feed it information. The form tortures the host's mind with a loud, annoying buzzing noise, slowly breaking down their will to mentally resist. Once this happens, the Flood essentially have free access to the host's mind and all their information. We took some damage there, and these bloody infection forms are trying to eat me. Trying to assimilate me into their collective. Yes, indeedy.
Lower your shields. You'll be assimilated and more connected. Resistance is futile.
I swear that was the spot where the Flood just infinitely spawned and they dropped down through that hole in the ceiling, but I guess not.
Looks like another shuttle bay. We should be able to reach the control room from the 3rd level.
Yes, and that's where we're headed.
He's delirious. In pain. We have to find him.
There we go. Has some 8-gauge Magnum shot to the face. We do see areas of this like kind of greenish mist coming out of the ventilation system, and that is part of the flood infection spreading via spores. I believe it's pretty much the only time we see it in this game. Ah, yes. A nice, lovely med pack. Because nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Hallway should be this way.
Ooh, I'm hearing some fun times for the Covenant down below. The Captain.
The captain! His vitals are fading. Please, Chief, hurry!
Working on it, honey. Ooh, exploding things. Just gotta push forward here. Watch out for grenades. The terminal for this mission is actually below the bridge platform right up there. It is right down here. So let's watch it.
I forgot something. What did I... My name. I... forgot. Oh, Keyes, Jacob, Captain, service number 01928-19912-JK. What is that noise? What is that damn noise? Where am I? Covenant captured me, didn't they? Yeah, I can't remember. Keyes, Jacob. Oh, God, it hurts. This will never work, you Covenant bastards. I'll never lead you to Earth. Keyes, Jacob, Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. Oh, God. You don't want Earth. You want everything. Get out of my head. Miranda, is that you?
Forget everything.
No, please. Don't let me forget. Keyes. Jacob. Captain. Service number 1928-19912-JK.
No more what you were. Memories. Emotions. All is now ours.
Keyes. Jacob. Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. You will not have me.
We already do.
Alright, well, that was a pretty terrifying terminal cutscene, and one that does not feature 343 Guilty Spark. Basically, it depicted Keyes being slowly tortured and assimilated by the Flood so it can use his knowledge of humanity. And I'm just checking around here because when we move up here, we can see that Keyes has become part of the Proto-Gravemind.
No human life signs detected. The captain, he's one of them. We can't let the Flood get off this ring. You know what he'd expect. What he'd want us to do. It's done. I have the code. We should go. We need to get back to the Pillar of Autumn. Let's go back to the shuttle bay and find a ride.
Well, as you can see, this Proto-Gravemind form is composed of many, many bodies. As you saw in the cutscene, Keyes attempted to resist the Flood by repeating his name, rank, and serial number. That's your common technique taught to you in SEER school to resist interrogation and torture, but yeah. Only after the host is essentially stripped of all knowledge are they killed by the Proto-Gravemind, and we got there just a little too late to save Keyes. Another thing to note is that in the cutscene, the face of Keyes is basically the face of his character model from the original Combat Evolved, not the Anniversary Edition. Okay, I think this room has been pacified. I'm looking for Keyes' pipe, his smoking pipe. It's around here somewhere. You saw he had it in the first cutscene. I think it takes me a minute to find it here. We get a good, nice look at the various faces and various states of decay here. It's at the end of one of these tentacles, and it's right there. There's Keyes' pipe. Alright, well, so much for the captain. Alright, let's get to a shuttle bay and find a ride. Grab this health kit here. Do not shoot me with a shotgun. That is very rude. Whoa, I almost got shot in the face with a fuel rod cannon twice. Where are the Banshees? There comes a spirit dropship. Ah, there they are.
Perfect. Grab one of the escort banshees and use it to return to the flood alarm.
We got all these Spec Ops elites. Dang it. Gotta kill these guys. Not enough bullets in this gun here. There we go, got him. Sheesh. Have you tried not sucking at aiming yet? More coming. Whatever. Let's just get out of here.